Hey everybody, Jeff the Cracker Jack Mechanic here. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 things I wish I'd known before I became a motorcycle mechanic. I ramble on a little bit. I've got some information in there. If you just want to watch it right through to the end, I've got a few tips. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, click that subscribe button down on the right side. Alright, so in no particular order, 3 things I wish I knew before I became a motorcycle mechanic are: the first thing I wish I'd known was just how many motorcycle tires I was going to change. It's not glamorous, but it is the bread and butter of the motorcycle industry. People wear tires out all the time. You're probably going to do it on a daily basis. If you're fortunate enough to work in a shop where there is somebody that changes the tires for you, fantastic. But if you're just starting out, you're probably going to be that guy. So guess what? You're going to change a lot of motorcycle tires. I've had guys come into the shop as new people at a shop where I was changing tires in particular, a lot of tires, and they said, boy, I hope this isn't something I got to do very often. Kind of sends off a red flag right away saying, yeah, this is something you're going to do a lot of. So just, I wish I'd known before I had started. Wouldn't have changed my mind. It wouldn't have made me not become a motorcycle mechanic. I mean, hey, it's still one of the best jobs ever. I enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. But motorcycle tires, it's hard to get excited about them. I like new tires. I don't mind installing them. I've done a lot, but just so that you're aware, I wasn't. When you're starting out, you're going to do a lot of motorcycle tires. The number 2 thing I wish I'd known before I became a motorcycle mechanic was just how many tools I was going to own. I mean, it's not just a normal amount of tools. This is like an extraordinary amount of tools. Especially when you get into working on different makes and models. You're not specifically working on Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, which have a lot of tools that cross over, all metric per se. But if you get into the American-made Harley Davidson and possibly with Victories and stuff, where the Harley in particular uses a lot of standard tools, you're going to get into having another set of sockets and wrenches. But the specialty tools in particular, if you do want to elevate your motorcycle mechanic game, and I think a lot of us get in at the ground level. This is a passion sport for us. This is a job that we've always wanted to do. So we're really working to probably have our own shop one day, which I have, and now work for another shop. It's all kind of part and parcel with becoming a motorcycle mechanic. So your tools, I wish I'd known just how many I was going to own. It would have given me a better idea of you know, what I was going to spend overall on tools, and it's quite a large amount. So number 2 would be the number of tools that I was going to own, specifically special tools for jobs, just to make it so that you didn't have to turn bikes away. You were able to do anything, and that's my approach to motorcycle mechanics. Is not an approach of just working on one brand in particular. Yes, I do have a brand that I am particularly good at. I'm better at Harley Davidson. I know a lot about them. I've done a lot of them, but any make and model. So your tool supply, your selection of tools is going to be quite large, and it just is continually growing. You're continually adding to it. So make sure you have a good base of tools. I'm not saying you got to go out and spend a lot of money on tools necessarily to get high-end, any of the main, say, Snap-on or Mac. You can get away with a Craftsman. We have Mastercraft, which is guaranteed for life for their basic wrenches and sockets. It's a nice quality tool, and you are saving to spend on specialty tools, which you are going to have to buy at some point, especially if you elevate your game. I've worked at shops where I have probably more tools than the shop itself supplies in terms of specialty tools. And when you work for a smaller shop, you're going to end up where you are probably going to want to have the tools for yourself. Then if you move on, you're familiar with the tools you're using, you've got them. If you're building up to own your own business or be a mechanic for yourself, which a lot of us are when we get into the motorcycle mechanics trade in particular, it seems, then you've got these tools with you. If you're doing any extraordinary racing outside of work, you're doing drag racing, motocross racing, road racing, any number of kinds of racing, flat track included for motorcycle mechanics, you're going to want to have tools that you can take with you, and you're probably going to have to own them yourself anyway. So Don't be afraid to spend on tools, but I wish I'd known how many tools I was going to own, how much money I was going to spend on tools. The number 3 thing that I wish I'd known was how many times I was going to be asked to work outside of work on somebody's bike for beer. Essentially, people are always asking, I need my bike fixed, will you come over? I have a friend who needs his bike fixed, will you come over? And it takes you, and they want to pay you with beer basically. They don't want to pay you money. They're cheap, they don't have any money to start with, or they're trying to save a buck. This really puts you in a precarious position. I don't do it so much anymore. I've got extracurricular racing that takes a lot of my extra time outside of work, but to leave work, not have my comfort zone of my tools and working off of a lift bench is quite difficult. You put yourself in a position where, yes, you maybe can make a couple extra bucks, but typically it doesn't work out that way. So I wish I'd known how many times I was going to be asked to work on somebody's motorcycle outside of work by somebody trying to save a buck. Hey, you know what? It's fine for close friends. I still do it on occasion. But when it comes to somebody I barely know, they want to invite, oh, come over to my garage. I've got all kinds of tools. I have done it. I've got there, and you find they don't have the tools that you need. The job takes you 3 times longer if you're lucky, and a lot of times you've got to come back again. It is a very big challenge. I mean, try it for yourself, learn for yourself. That's the best way to learn a lesson. Then you have the reminder as you go forward of why you probably don't want to do it, or how well equipped you're going to be able to do it. Some shops don't like it. It's a bit of a conflict of interest for the shop that you're working at. But if you're not making a lot of money, or you've got some time off, I mean, you've got to put food on the table. So this is something that you're probably going to pursue or want to do, but just be aware before you go in. Just something I wish I'd known before I became a motorcycle mechanic, how many times I was going to be asked to work on somebody's bike outside of work for beer. Understand that you're providing a service, you're doing good work, you're a motorcycle mechanic. It is a very, very detailed job. We're dealing with a lot of safety related issues. It's okay maybe if you have some space at home, you want to bring a bike there and do it. You have the comfort level again. You can work on your own time. It's challenging when you work at somebody else's house. They want to watch over your shoulder. And when you get some confidence, this isn't too bad. A lot of mechanics I've worked with don't really like that, somebody watching them. So you do what works for yourself, just understanding that those are things. So those are the 3 things that I wish I'd known before. And one little bonus thing that I wish I'd known was that as much as you only want to work on, say, a specific type of motorcycle, it's unlikely that it will be the case. I work on a lot of Harley Davidsons now. At different points I haven't, but when I first started out into this trade, I thought I was just going to work on racing motorcycles. In particular, I was interested more in drag racing when I first started, and that was probably the furthest thing from anything I ever worked on when I started into the trade, except for having my own drag bike. I wasn't able to work on drag bikes daily. I was doing the brunt of motorcycle mechanic grunt work, including the tires, the oil changes, and the routine tune-up service type things. That can seem quite boring, but it is motorcycle mechanics. It's all encompassing that, and I had my drag bike on the side and kind of moved away from that into other forms of racing. But a lot of us start out with racing. We find something we're interested in, we like motorcycles, we're racing them, and we're going to make a career of that. But just be aware, wish I'd known before I started that it was probably the furthest thing from what I was going to do on a regular basis would be to work on a racing motorcycle. Some of you may have the fortune to get in with a racing team or have started out in that direction before you get into the trade, which is very cool. I mean, it's a possibility. It wasn't the road that I went, wasn't the option I had, but it was my interest. So you work towards that direction, and if you have the fortune of starting out that way, hey, great. That's not the reality for a lot of us in the trade. We enjoy motorcycles, we have one ourselves, and we're working on it, and we'd like to make a career of it because we do like it, and we're very fortunate to do something that we enjoy. But I wish I'd known that I'm not going to work on racing motorcycles unless it's out of my own pocket and I'm doing it myself, and that seems to be the case. You can try and get in with a racing team. A lot of them already have a mechanic. They already have a budget for that. So you're probably going to have to pay some dues yourself. You're going to have to work on some bikes and build up a reputation, build up your personal brand, your style, and put yourself in positions where you can work with racing teams or people that have racing bikes that need a mechanic and become involved that way. So thanks for watching this video. I try to bring you motorcycle videos with content for motorcycle mechanics. People that would like to become motorcycle mechanics that maybe are, please drop a line in the comments below. Hey, I don't know what you're thinking when you're watching these videos, but I sure would like to know. I hope that you enjoy them. Maybe there's something you'd like me to expand on. Just drop me a line. Let me know. If you like what you see, click that subscribe button down on the right hand side. I'm Jeff, the Cracker Jack Mechanic, and thanks for watching.